You run the camera? Okay.
Oh, you want me to switch up while y'all doing this?
Yeah. So because it's just gonna be on one person if not. Yeah. So those of you that are tuning in on the live, we are going over, basically our table read, our setup, for this next show. The next show, starting at 11 o'clock, actually, is we got Gloria Johnson, who is a member of Tennessee 3, that will be joining us here on the Antonio Parkinson Project. We're excited about that. We're thankful to have her, and I just got a text from her. She says she's on her way.
Yeah, get your AirPods ready at work.
Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all watch the show because
turn it on so your coworkers
Gloria
can
Johnson,
hear you.
she's running for a U.S. Senate, and she's running against Marsha Blackburn. And if you hadn't had a chance to know her or find out who she is, this is where it's going to happen at. So y'all make sure y'all lock in and tune in. So let's walk us through it, Nichelle. We're going to be doing. Go ahead, Nichelle, walk us through it. Okay.
You're gonna take the lead with take us back to your childhood, your upbringing.
Okay.
And, walk us through it.
Okay.
Then Angelica goes on to ask, what got you into politics? Was there something that influenced your decision? And then Coach goes into more detail, asking her, about her personal life. So we don't know if she's married, we don't know if she has children. That is not on the internet anywhere. And how has any of that, being married or not married or having kids or not having kids, has that influenced any of her decisions as a legislator?
Okay. Okay. Y'all got anything y'all want to add to that?
No, sir.
All right.
Those questions for y'all. Do y'all need any more homework?
Let me see. Okay.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, mine is good. I think. Thank you.
We may not want to get.
Okay. Y'all need highlighters to highlight y'all shit?
Not me.
Look, you see, I looked at Kojak. Kojak said he does.
I do.
All right. Okay.
But I guess at this time, she lost her seat and then got it back.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
did,
what made
yeah.
her, after
Yeah.
losing her seat, she lost it twice, I think.
This,
She did.
Twice?
Twice.
okay. That predates me.
What seat was that?
She was the one she's in now. 2012
Yeah,
when she
yeah.
got it. 2000, what is it? I wrote it down. Lost her seat in 2014 and 2016, then since back in 2018. But why come back twice?
No, it wasn't twice. She was just out two sessions, 14 and 16.
Okay,
Yeah,
so lost it once, out 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, why come back? Most people
Yeah.
will lose.
Yeah. Are you?
I'm saying if there's time.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Can I have? You got another highlighter?
This is one I forgot.
Okay. All right.
Just a reminder that again, she was a SPED educator for 27 years before she got started.
She was a teacher.
She got into legislation in 2022, from what I can tell. And she's from Knoxville.
What do you mean legislation? Is that different than state rep?
That's same legislature. Yeah.
It's 2012 then.
2000. What?
She said 2022.
I didn't think so.
It's 2012, I thought. So let's verify. Because remember the dates I just gave you, 2012, she was out 2 times,
Yeah.
and came back in 2018.
She was out 2 terms.
2 terms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was something.
Well, she is was a representative 22.
Yeah, so what was
She
she
still
before
is,
then?
right? Oh. Oh.
Was she in some kind of different office that make her legislate? Okay, yeah.
No, she was in the Tennessee House. I think she's been in there with me for at least 3 or 4 terms now at this point.
It's like 2019. That's the earliest I got.
Okay.
I got different. But
Well, she can
ask
explain
her.
it.
Yeah.
She can explain it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope.
Right.
Okay.
She lost. Right.
Right. Yeah. So. Okay. I thought we were in segment 2.
Okay.
Okay.
That first question that is still up
Okay.
video.
Okay.
A little backstory about what was going on, a special session about the mass shooting at Covenant School.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't specifically say, so Justin Jones, Justin Pearson got expelled,
Yeah.
but she did not.
Right.
I didn't put that in the notes, but I'm saying it so y'all know that.
Yeah.
Noted that they are both black.
That's a good question. That she's the one that broke it. That said it was based purely on racism. So if somebody wanna ask it, that'd be great. Add it to your notes.
Okay.
Yeah. Why didn't you get expelled? Why were they
By
expelled?
one vote.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get expelled by one vote.
Yeah.
But she is also the only woman of the group and the only white person.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and these questions can go in any order based on how the story goes. The person's gonna ask her how her relationship to them before this.
Let's move mine to the last question. You follow me?
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So move yours, Kojak. You and Angelica, move y'all's up. Because it'd probably be more appropriate as an ending. How the relationship is. Then.
Segment 2.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
What you got, Kojak?
mine is how did you feel at the moment? So, you will introduce it though. You will.
Yeah.
set it
I'll
up.
still introduce.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's gonna ask his first question.
Yeah.
He'll show the video.
Oh shit, we need to put the video up.
And then after the video, Angelica's question will come next. What were you feeling in that moment?
Right. So we just swap that around. You gonna go first, then I'll go second.
I'm just putting one, two, Park exit, you said video up in the middle, what she was feeling. And then I think both of you can in after that. So
Yeah.
we can kind of alternate.
Whether
Yeah.
that you'll receive any negative consequences.
It wasn't about the three.
Oh, he did.
Just want to know that this is only the third.
Can I say something to Parkinson while you load that up? The reason why on the podcast yesterday, it may sound a stupid question, like was she always Democrat?
Hear my thoughts.
A Democrat? Because the lady I was thinking about, that judge, she's like 30 years ago, she marched Republican, but back then it was different. And then she was scared to switch now because she don't want it to look. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder was she always a Democrat? Okay. I mean, if we have time, you know.
Note that Marsha Blackburn was the first female Tennessee senator, so Gloria would be the second. And like I think that kind of goes with your question, why
What makes you special?
Yeah.
I don't know what first you there.
And I think that's true.
You know how it works.
Rico said y'all live. I told him we know.
At the beginning of this week, are we're creating a circus, and the eyes of the entire world right now are on this chamber.
I got
Now, somebody outside, can y'all check that? Please. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, you.
Oh no, I'm good.
You got somebody else coming in? You're not playing?
Security.
Okay. Y'all, everybody, that's Gloria Johnson.
Hello, Miss Johnson.
Nice to meet
Miss
you.
Johnson, those curls.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it surprises everybody.
Gloria, you want some water? You want anything to drink?
I've got some water. I'm good. We got some breakfast. Oh, I just had breakfast.
Your friend, the driver, they want some breakfast?
He had some too. We're staying with some folks in Memphis
Okay.
to put us up when we come. They said
Okay.
it's good this week.
Hello, hello.
Oh, I'm great.
Hello, hello.
Great, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, y'all come on in. Kick some. Okay, the video's up. Okay, all right. How long? Okay, so we'll get started in 15 minutes. And what's going to happen is it's going to be live, right? And once it's going to take about an hour. It's 15-minute segments. And we'll walk.
Drops while she here and it's already running.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already.
First segment.
But he might be like, no.
Gotcha.
He might say no.
We can do that now.
Yeah, see.
So what the drop is you're gonna express your love for me.
You don't have to though. You ain't gotta do it. You ain't gotta do it. Don't do it.
Knows it
I
now.
do it. I do it.
So Gloria, what we'll do is what a drop is say, hey, I'm Gloria Johnson, and you're watching it. So we want to get that now, so that way we'll have to
Okay.
have the show. So you want to be seated? You want to be seated?
That'd be better.
Okay. So
We have a taller chair.
we got this one
I
too.
think it's called.
We got this one too.
Okay.
Will this one work, or you want to go pick up?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move this over here and we'll go ahead and line your shot up. And actually, we can go ahead and get started early once we get these drops, all right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we're excited.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, so all the TikTok live people, Gloria Johnson's in the building. So I think we're going to go ahead and get the show started in just a minute after we get these drops. All right? Yeah.
Oh, see, you just told me something new.
All right. Yeah.
I'll take a water, another water.
There are some breakfasts right there at the table, too.
You got it covered.
Cold water. Yeah.
Gloria, you want to come over here real quick? Okay.
When you do your drop, Gloria, can you be sure to say, I'm Gloria Johnson, the Democrat
Oh, we're
nominee.
gonna
Okay,
do-
turn up. I like you. All right, turn up. She turned up
We
ready.
talking to Memphis voters, and I just
Yes.
look them like,
The
this
audience.
ain't just happy Gloria Johnson.
Yes.
She is I am the Senate, I'm the nominee for
I
Senate.
am the
Yes.
happy Gloria.
Yes.
Happy
Hello.
Gloria Johnson, that is also the Senate.
Turn up.
Well,
Listen.
Well, we're gonna get multiple drops from her.
Listen.
We're gonna get drops for
Hold
what
on.
she's doing. We're gonna get drops for the
Show.
Yeah, for the show, and so yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we got
This is for you. Here's another cold water. Move this one out the way. I don't know who's that.
Two shades.
Oh. Right. Do I need to get a marker? What, maybe.
I'll mark this one with my lipstick.
Yeah, she's gonna mark her lipstick.
As long as y'all don't get Parkinson's, you'll be all right.
Hey.
Okay, I'm not picking.
Now,
I can't pick on you today.
Okay, we're starting already. Okay, good. The show started, y'all. That means the show started. Let's get it.
Oh,
I'm picking on you already. I'm sorry.
Here's your water.
You ain't got to mark
Well, no,
mine.
I
Just
always
sit
tell
mine
him
over here.
rep.
Lies. I mean, that's what we're doing early in the morning. That's what we're doing.
Yes. I'm in our professional hat right now.
That's it. All right, Gloria. So you'll look in this camera and you'll say, "Hey, this is Gloria Johnson. This is however you want to title it,
Okay.
right?" And you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Give me 3 of those. and then
Okay.
we'll come back and do 3 you know, your race stuff. all
Sure.
right?
I know
Okay?
about that.
And you can start as soon as you're ready. Okay, y'all, quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Hit that fan for me, Coach. 3, 2, 1.
Hey y'all, Rep Gloria Johnson here, and you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Hey y'all, Gloria Johnson here, and you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Hey y'all, Rep Gloria Johnson here, and you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
All right, now, you know, make sure what I want to come across more than anything is your personality. So,
Okay.
so give me, do that again for me, but give me Gloria
Okay,
Johnson.
all right.
I'm ready for the Gloria Johnson.
Right. Yeah, give me Gloria Johnson. Yeah.
Hey y'all, Rep Gloria Johnson here, and you are watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
All right, now give me 3 of them with your plug, so you plug yourself. So, yeah, with your personality.
Okay.
You know, for the Senate race.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Hey y'all, this is U.S. Senate candidate Gloria Johnson, and you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Right. Well, also
Oh.
tell them to come go
Okay.
vote. You know, yeah. plug
Okay,
it, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
Do the
yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
talking about the project at this point?
No, you can.
Okay.
Do your
Okay.
thing. This is
Do
your-
my,
yeah,
okay,
do your
gotcha.
thing.
Hey everybody, this is U.S. Senate candidate. Wait, I'm gonna do another one.
I love that. You know, we're keeping the outtakes.
We
too.
love bloopers.
Hey y'all, this is Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Gloria Johnson, and it's so important that you get out and vote. Early vote starts October 16th, and Election Day is November 5th.
Do it again. Tell them why.
Okay, all right. Oh, I can go even further.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, do all that.
yeah. Let it rip.
Hey everybody, this is Democratic U.S. candidate for Senate, Gloria Johnson, and you all need to get out there and vote. We know what's at stake this election. Democracy is on the ballot. We need your vote. An early vote starts October 16th. Election day is November 5th. Please get out there and vote for Democrats up and down the ballot.
Go hard though. Go hard, Gloria.
Okay,
This is it. We
okay.
need to bring it home.
All right.
Tell them why. Why
Okay.
it's important.
Okay.
Right. Make the case.
Hi, everybody. This is Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Gloria Johnson. Happy to be here with you, and I want to talk to you about how critical it is that you get out and vote this election cycle. We have to vote Democratic up and down the ballot because democracy is at stake here. We have colleagues across the aisle who do not support the human dignity of every single person. And we've got to make sure that we are electing people that care about regular, hard-working families, to make sure that they're making a living wage, that they have access to affordable drugs and affordable prescription, and that they're able to go to a great public school. We know our public schools are the bedrock of democracy, and we've got to vote for folks who care about Tennessee families. So please, early vote if you can. It begins October 16th. It's easier. You can vote in multiple locations, or you can vote on November 5th. But please, grab some friends and go vote.
Give me one more. This is what I want from you this time.
Okay.
I want you to say, hey, this is Gloria Johnson. 5 reasons you should get out and vote.
Oh, 5 reasons you should get out and vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
And start with and say, you know, number 1.
Okay.
Number 2. Okay.
Hey friends, this is Gloria Johnson, candidate for U.S. Senate as a Democrat, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons that you need to go and vote. Number 1, democracy is on the ballot. Don't doubt it. We've seen an erosion of democracy in Tennessee, and it's happening at the federal level as well. Number 2, if you care about the human dignity of all Tennesseans, that there's no discrimination, whether you're black, you're brown, you're LGBTQ, you're disabled, you're a woman, these things are all on the table right now. So please get out and vote. Number 3, we do not have access to a living wage in Tennessee. Tennesseans deserve, if you work a hard 40-hour work week, you should earn a living wage, be able to support your family, keep the lights on and groceries on the table, take a nice vacation, and retire in dignity. That's what Tennesseans deserve. Number 4, Affordable prescriptions. My opponent voted against capping insulin at $35 and voted against negotiating drug prices for senior citizens. She literally fights for us to pay higher drug prices. This is on the ballot. And number 5, women's reproductive justice. We have got to make sure that women are equal in Tennessee because right now they are not. We have a supermajority of elected officials who believe women should not make their own health care decisions. And we have on the Republican ticket, you've got a U.S. presidential candidate, vice presidential candidate, and a U.S. senator who believes in a federal abortion ban. This is disastrous for women and girls in Tennessee. Tennessee is a state that wants to force a 10-year-old to carry her rapist baby. And this is unheard of. And Marsha Blackburn supports this. We've got to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. Those are 5 good reasons. I could probably give you 50 more. But please get out and vote October 16th, or if you don't get to early vote, on November 5th, Election Day.
Let's go vote tomorrow. Let's go today. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. What we looking like, Nichelle? We ready?
10:55, ready?
Would you like your black jacket?
No. I don't.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Y'all ready? Let's do it.
And
Let's do
can
it.
we also emphasize the point that we can't turn Tennessee blue? Tennessee can't.
Okay.
Like we gotta make people feel hopeful.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Well,
We
you know,
absolutely
It's
can.
Time
not for
blue.
me.
right. Okay. Right.
You and your cousin.
Hey, real
You and your
talk.
cousin.
Cause that's what we get.
Okay.
Like, we can't. No, we don't tell people. No, we can't. We can't. When you go vote, go vote.
Right.
Let's do it.
Quit saying that stuff and go vote.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
And you are.
Michelle, can you see my?
Yeah, welcome
my
to the
shirt?
capital of Memphis, Raleigh, 38128. Yeah. Oh no.
He gonna blame it. He gonna blame it on me anyways.
Oh, okay. I had turned to the side.
Okay, I thought it was
I'm
me.
gonna put a
No, she's talking about mine. It got brown in it. Did I do
knew
something?
what you were doing with her.
Did I do
Look at
something
this-
wrong?
Look at the brown.
Oh, it gotta be something, man. Hers
Okay, I
has
was
to be
making sure it wasn't me because you know I'll turn this.
No,
Can I turn mine though? 'Cause I want to look at her. I want to look like this. Gonna be able to look and go like this. Cause they blame me all the time.
All right, y'all. Let me know when we're ready. Hey, Nichelle, we missed you. We had LeContier countdowns in the last election. Okay, is this my water right here?
Get your water here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Gracias.
I'm typing.
That's good Spanish. Yeah. Hey, look.
No,
and
tell me what
this
you
is
gonna
the
hear.
hood- What we call the hood camp. So this is TikTok live. They catch the whole thing too.
Okay.
Right, and it's going to
gotcha.
be out on all of the social media platforms, everything, Facebook. And also, just as a note, y'all, we are over 5 million views
Damn.
on the
turn up.
podcast, and we started in February. Hey, the shit is popping. So, and Gloria, if you feel like you need
Come
to let
on,
out a couple of
sponsors.
expletives, you know, you're more than welcome on the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Excellent.
You know me, I let them out all the
What's gonna
time.
happen?
Right, yeah. So, all right, y'all ready to get this?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, Nichelle, whenever. Hold on.
How sensitive are the mics and how close do I need to be?
I need you to look a little close. The closer you are, the stronger it is.
Okay. Yeah, I
Right.
can move it. I
Okay.
just didn't know
Okay, yeah.
if it's one that needs to be pretty close.
Yeah, it's linear, so it's going directly to you and nobody else. So. Let's see, I had the wrong notes up. Okay, Nichelle, whenever you're ready.
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. Today we have none other than Gloria Johnson, U.S. Senate candidate in Tennessee. And so we're going to get with Gloria, and let's do that again. That was trash. Okay, let's do it again. Welcome to live TV. Yeah. Got my thoughts together. I was a little scrambled. Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and today on the show, we have State Representative Gloria Johnson, who is running for U.S. Senate in Tennessee against Marsha Blackburn. So don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and you are watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's give it up for that. Ooh, numbers, man, numbers. Yeah, man. That that 2.2 million on YouTube the other day, man, just made me feel real good.
How'd you feel deep down?
I felt really, really good because
was you a proud daddy?
I was a proud daddy.
Aw,
Yeah, but you think about it, right? We've been doing this. We started in February, didn't know what the hell we was doing, honestly, and we just built it and built it from there, and now we are over 5 million views in the aggregate across all of our social media platforms, and that is just absolutely amazing. But we had a vision, though, right, Angelica?
We did have a vision.
Lovely co-host in the building. Give it up for Angelica Jelly Woods in the building.
I'm here on a Tuesday.
Right,
I wish it was Friday, but I'm excited about our guest though.
On a Tuesday.
Tuesday
right,
today.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, and so y'all also, that's my DJ. He is DJ Kojak. Give it up for DJ Kojak in the building. Hey, DJ Kojak, scratch it up 4 times for the next U.S. Senator. Scratch it up.
This one for you. Pay attention.
Oh Lord.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me ask.
That's for the
you, Gloria,
Yes.
did you hear that scratch?
Yes.
Yo! Okay.
Find out we cousins, Gloria.
Right.
She just won.
She just won. Y'all give it up for U.S. Senate candidate and member of the Tennessee 3, Gloria Johnson is in the building. Yeah. Man, we finally got her. Gloria Johnson, right now, State Rep Gloria Johnson, my colleague. Thank you for being here. We're excited to have you, honestly. Right.
Well, thank you for having me. It's going to be fun. I can tell already.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
So
let me start off with this. Gloria.
Come on,
join in with me, Kojak. My Gloria.
I'm no part of this.
Things ain't been the same.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
Gloria.
Man, look. I was just feeling it, man. I was feeling it.
Which
Right?
one Gloria you really
lot
feeling
on the
too?
house floor.
Right. Look. When I want to smile out of her, I'll walk by her, not even look at her,
Lord.
just sing to her.
Oh,
And,
Right.
and she smiles. It gets her every
he's
single
thinking
time.
about another Gloria. What Gloria you really singing about?
That Gloria Johnson. Right, look, that's what I'm gonna say when she gets elected and she ain't in the house with me no more. I'm gonna say things ain't been the same since you went away. Right, man. Look, but hey, I thank God for you. One of the beautiful things about Gloria Johnson is I've never seen her disrespect anyone in all my years that we've served together.
Wow.
Right. And that's a rarity in the Tennessee House, because I tell people, look, we are literally the most dysfunctional family of 99 people, in the state of Tennessee. Real talk. Right.
Yeah, it's a toxic environment. There's no question, but I'm always gonna be professional, and it is what it is.
See, y'all make me want to go up there and be a fly on the wall just to see what's
Hey,
going on.
if you want to see a reality show, you should.
Yeah, I want to
It's
go.
a reality show. But look, Gloria, because I want to make sure we get as much information out as possible and educate the people that are watching. Take us from the beginning. So for the people that don't know you, right? Take us from the beginning. What was the upbringing like for Gloria Johnson?
Well, that's it does have everything to do with who you are and who you become and what you care about. My father was in law enforcement, and when I was very young, we were living in Jackson, Mississippi, and it was a really tough time in Jackson. It was late 60s, early 70s, and when the KKK was very active in Jackson and in a lot of places, but in particular there. And less than a mile from my house, the KKK one night blew up a Jewish synagogue.
Wow.
And my father called his partner because, we actually heard the explosion. And he called his partner, went and picked him up, and they had been surveilling some of the KKK and thought they knew who probably was in charge. Went to their place, and 3 of them were just coming back. So they arrested those 3 KKK members. And then the KKK threatened to kill our family. And so we had to move out of our house for a couple of weeks while they rounded up the rest of the group.
Dang,
And
that's
so,
a heck of a start, Gloria.
Yeah. And then when we did come back to the house, my mom was still nervous because we had a ranch style house and the kids' rooms were on the front of the house. And she didn't feel comfortable comfortable with us being in those front bedrooms. So she lined up our twin beds in the hallway, and probably for a couple of months we slept in our beds in the hallway because she just didn't want us on the front of the house.
Wow.
And so that was my start, seeing what hate can do, how it terrorizes people and damages and kills people and destroys things. And so it was, I learned really early what racism and bigotry and hate can do and what it can look like. And so that's just been a part of my whole life is, having that happen. And then of course, when I was teaching at Central High School in Knoxville in 2008, we had a school shooting. I teach special ed. We lost a special ed student that day. I'll never forget, the kids were all in the cafeteria having breakfast in the morning. The bell hadn't rung for class yet, so I'm down in my classroom getting ready for class, and I hear noise, and I look out the window, and it's just kids running, screaming down the hill towards my classroom, crying, screaming. They come in, kids that were my kids that were not my students, and just trying to get them calm enough to tell me what happened. It took a few minutes, and then they stayed there until we got an hour clear, until the shooter, who was another student, had been picked up. And so the kids, you still don't feel safe really, but they felt a little better. And then everybody's just kind of in shock, and we call for parents to come and get their kids. So teachers had to stay until the last kid left. And my duty was to be on the circle where the parents picked up the kids. So greeting the parents, kind of talking them through what happened. And, they're so upset and the kids are traumatized. And once you see that happen, you know that we can't let it happen anymore.
And what year was this? Because if that's happening then, if I can ask that, what year approximately?
That was
did this happen?
2008 that happened.
2008. You think it's so escalated with guns right now? That's 2008 that was happening.
Yeah, and at that time, that morning, we had 2 police officers at that school. They were in the room where it happened. They couldn't prevent it. So, the idea that security is going to keep these things from happening is not real, because so many of these instances, security was there and weren't able to do what people expect them to be able to do. And so what my colleagues across the aisle will not understand is the way that we solve this problem is stop guns from ever getting to the schoolhouse door. They want to bring the gun battle into the classroom by arming teachers. Never a solution. It's ignorant, because you are actually bringing the gun battle into the classroom. You want a teacher with a pistol to go up against somebody with an AR-15 in their face? I mean, you're asking them to commit suicide is what you're doing. So we need real solutions that do not allow the guns to get to the schoolhouse door. We need universal enhanced background checks. We need safe storage laws. We need red flag laws to keep the guns away from dangerous people.
But I want to go backwards about your upbringing. Now, you said like hatred, you couldn't stand hatred, but do you think being against hatred led you into being a politician, or did you want to be something else? I mean, you said you were a teacher, but I mean, do you think from when you were born, or you just knew you wanted to be in politics? What made you lead you there?
Oh no, I never thought I would be. Politics, I wasn't even part of I wasn't involved in partisan politics. I always voted, and I always voted Democratic, but I was never involved in partisan politics. That didn't happen. I would say that I got my justice bone from my father. That it's just about justice for absolutely everyone. And so that was always in me, and that's probably what guided me towards special education as a teacher, because growing up, I saw a lot of kids that clearly were smart kids, but had learning disabilities or whatever, and I didn't feel like they were getting what they needed. People didn't recognize the potential in some of those kids. And so that's what I wanted to do. And then I got involved in partisan politics in 2008 because I thought, after 2 terms of George Bush, we needed something different. And I felt like if I don't do everything I can, it's my fault too. And I had seen Barack Obama in Illinois. Had an aunt that lived in Chicago, and I went there at least 4 times a year. And I'd seen some of the things he had done in the state when he was there, and I was impressed with him. I heard he might run for president. And so as soon as his website was up, I signed up to volunteer. And so
Oh, wow.
that's when I got involved. I said, I'm a teacher. You can have all my weekends. You can have all my holidays. And so I started, they called me in 2007 for my Christmas break and said, hey, could you spend your Christmas break in Iowa at the caucuses doing
Hey,
volunteering?
I'm from Iowa. Woo, woo. All
Well,
right.
Well, and I said yes, but then they called me a couple weeks later and said, we think we have Iowa covered. Would you go to New Hampshire or South Carolina? And I said, well, South Carolina's easier, but I'll go wherever you need me. And so they sent me to South Carolina. And since South Carolina was so close, I could just, because I'm in East Tennessee, I could just drive over every weekend. So I did all my holidays and my weekends at South Carolina until the primary. And then I took my personal days off and did the primary in South Carolina. And then I was just hooked. You know, the more you find out about politics, more you find out what's needed locally. And one thing you see as a teacher is how families struggle. And so, you know, I didn't have that experience growing up, but as a teacher, I saw all of that, and I saw all of this injustice. And so after that Obama election, and he became president, it's like, okay, what do I do now? And a lot of my friends said, Gloria, why don't you become the party chair of the Knox County Democratic Party? So I did that and got involved because we knew there was going to be a fight for health care, you know. And I had a sister with a long-term illness that was losing her health care because she was sick. And her and her husband had a small business. It was tough to get insurance at that time with a small business. After the third brain surgery that she needed, they dropped her from her insurance.
Wow.
And that was at the time you're fighting for Medicaid expansion, and they had passed Medicaid expansion, but it was a year or two before the pre-existing condition clause came in.
Right.
And she had been without insurance for about a year, I think, a little over a year, and first got insurance back when the pre-existing condition situation went away. That got insurance back for her. So you just see how it affects you so much and your family up close. And then they decided to take a teacher's seat at the table away to take away collective bargaining for teachers. And that's when I decided to run.
This is awesome. We really getting a bigger picture of where you came from. But before this segment end, I gotta ask this: your personal life. Are you married? Do you have children? Before we get out of this first segment.
Okay. I am not married. I am divorced.
Okay.
And I do not have children, and that's been sort of a public thing because I have something called Marfan syndrome.
Okay.
And I actually did become pregnant when I was younger, and at the same time I had an aortic aneurysm.
So you almost died.
It's like a hell.
Yeah, I would have died. And that's what my cardiologist said, you know, if you carry a pregnancy, you will die.
Yeah.
And it won't take that long, because at the time, you know, I had an aortic aneurysm, and with that extra pressure on your body, I never could have managed it. So I think about that a lot. When I ran a bill that was like to codify Roe, I told my story.
Yes.
Women should not have to tell their story, but I thought it might influence people to hear that, you know, today I wouldn't have that option.
Yeah, that's
I'd
scary.
have to,
Jesus.
I'd be forced to carry that baby, and there's no question that aneurysm would have dissected. And when I told the story in subcommittee, 3 Republicans cried, but they all voted no.
Oh God! Oh wow!
That's incredibly heartbreaking. You know, and there's so many people. So many women rather that, you know, are facing, you know, those same challenges, those same issues, and having to deal with, you know, with these laws that are honestly truly barbaric in nature. You know, and it puts the doctors, those healthcare providers, in a very precarious situation, right?
Yeah.
And you know.
And that's the way it is with an aneurysm. It's okay until it's not. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Flo Hyman. She was an Olympic volleyball player. and she died on the volleyball court. She did not know she had Marfan syndrome, and she dissected right there. There's no time. There's no saving anybody after something like that happens, unless it happens to you in the hospital. But you know, this is the kind of situation, and sometimes people are aware of it, some people not. Sometimes they find out right then. But there are so many situations like that that you have to let doctors make those decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do not need a legislator in your doctor's office to make that decision for you.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of the lies and disinformation about what is not even a medical term, late-term abortion. No one is decorating their nursery, naming their baby, and then deciding at 8 months to have an abortion.
Yeah.
Those things that happen late-term are horrible medical issues where someone's life is in danger. And we need to be honest about, we need to call them on those lies. I mean, the president, the vice president, you know, my opponent, Marsha Blackburn, said that I wanted to kill babies after they are born.
Oh, wow.
That's murder. I'm very much aware of that. And that is absolutely not what is happening in that 7th, 8th, and 9th month. They're horrible medical situations where women and doctors have to make quick decisions to save lives.
You know what's sad though is this. You know, I remember, you know, because when I was sitting on the criminal committee until I was kicked off, apparently, right? Apparently, you know, I'm talking too much, you know, on the committee or calling shit out, right? I remember asking the members of that committee, how many of y'all have actually pushed a body out of your body?
Two.
And nobody on that committee could raise their hand because none of them were women. Right? None of them were women.
Right.
But they were all making decisions for women. None of them had experienced being pregnant. None of them had experienced what all of the challenges that come with carrying a baby. None of them, to my knowledge, had been raped and impregnated. Right? None of them, you know, to my knowledge, had faced death because they were pregnant. Because none of them were ever pregnant.
Yes.
Because they were men. And so, you know, and I just found it just incredibly, not just disheartening, but disrespectful, you know, to be making these decisions and for women. And the last thing I want to say about that is none of them would support legislation that would govern the bodies of men.
Yeah.
I mean, you're exactly
Needs
right.
to
None of them have ever been pregnant, had a baby, understand anything about it. But it goes a step further and gets so much worse. There's Representative Burkhart, and they are voting on women's bodies, and they don't even know how they work. So one of his constituents was going to have a miscarriage. The baby was not going to survive. And so she had to go to New York to have that miscarriage taken care of, to make sure that she didn't become septic. There wasn't something left there. So she has to go to New York to do that. So she goes to talk to her representative, who was Representative Burkhart. And she's having a conversation with him, and she said, and I had to go to New York by myself. My husband couldn't come with me because he had to stay and take care of my 6-year-old daughter. And he said to her, "Wait, you have a daughter already?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, you can only have a miscarriage on your first
Oh
pregnancy."
my God.
These are the men voting on bills that restrict our bodies, and they don't even know anything about biology or women or pregnancy, and they're making these decisions. That's
I
the
wanna say
craziest
something.
thing I've ever heard.
I want to say something too, because I feel led to say this, and it's not on script. With the right to exercise, I had an abortion. This is my first time like publicly saying this. Okay, oh Lord, look, Parkinson ready. Clip at the abortion clip, but there was no, I wasn't raped or had any kind of medical issues like that, but I still had the right to choose that. Would I choose it again today? No. You know what I mean? And you already have that cloud over you of judgment. I think they don't know you have judgment over you. And so you don't need your outside judgment, especially like you said, you're not a woman, you don't know anything. And I feel like I made the best, I was led to that decision, not told, but you're already there. And I think also I had a situation which they don't know, may not know either, with I had a tube of pregnancy in my body. So if that law was exercised, I was thinking about when you said, I was like, dang, I didn't even think about that. They had to like inject me to dissolve the child in my tube, or like it would have ruptured and possibly killed
Right.
me. I didn't even tell you that before.
No.
Could have killed me. Like
Yeah.
they're like, we're gonna
Oh,
abort.
ectopic
It's called
pregnancy.
abortion. We're gonna abort the baby.
Ectopic pregnancies can be fatal. Absolutely.
Yeah, but if that was the case, they could say no. You just I don't know what you would do if the baby's in your. What would you? I don't even know what you would do if that
Well,
was
yeah, an
taken away.
ectopic pregnancy does not become a live fetus. It cannot happen. You know, that's why they did make an exception in the legislature for ectopic, molar,
Okay.
and dead fetuses.
Yeah. Okay.
But none of those will ever become a live
yeah.
fetus. So,
And that was after the fact, remember?
and that was after
yeah,
we had to beg for that.
That's scary.
But you're right. It's not just the exceptions. It's about a woman's choice to make that decision in conjunction with her doctor, not in conjunction with her doctor and her representative or
Right.
Marsha Blackburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is they are not in it, and I respect a person's right to feel like I don't believe I don't ever want I don't believe in abortion. I'm not going to have an abortion. And if it's a religion for you, I respect your religion and I respect your right not to have one. But you can't use your religion to stop someone else for doing what they make the decision.
And before we wrap this up, I think it's vitally important that this is stated, right? And I had to tell one of our colleagues, Jeremy Faison, this on the committee. I said, listen, I don't know one person, Democrat or Republican, that wants to see a woman have an abortion. Not one person. Now, but I know thousands of people that say, hey, that is a decision that she is to make between her family, and her doctor and her God. And that's that, you know.
Right.
And so, you know, it's not like Democrats are parading around encouraging people to have abortions. That's not the case. You know, we just want the government not to be making the decision for women. But look, y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to talk about Gloria Johnson and Tennessee 3. So hit that subscribe button. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. And we got video on this segment too.
That's what it's supposed to.
All right. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Y'all, let's give it up for that one more again, man. Look. We got Gloria Johnson on the show. She's going to bring us another meal, right? Another million views.
Bring them in, Gloria.
Right.
Bring them in.
I'm telling you, man. Look, give it up for my lovely co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods is in the building.
Yes.
Yes,
Y'all just missed the honcho moment, though. Y'all missed the honcho moment. But yeah,
Oh,
maybe the hood
boy.
cam. Y'all may have got
boy,
it.
y'all.
It was hilarious, though. So,
Oh
yeah,
my
Okay, I'm
OMG,
done,
boy!
I'm
That,
done,
you know,
I'm
I
done.
just get beat up over here. You know, and I go to Kojak for my just to
He ain't
help,
gonna help
right?
you. He ain't gonna
And Kojak does man, he doesn't help a bit. But he is my DJ. Give it up for my DJ Kojak in the building. Yeah. He ain't worth the plug nickel when I need his support. When I
Nah,
need him
you
with
on
this
your
particular
own. You on
women
your
jump on me,
own.
But
Yeah,
but
we outnumbered today, man. It's only
Yeah,
Right,
we
right,
keep
women
it
in
here.
this place.
You see how many women in
I
this
see, man.
I'm quiet.
Yeah.
I
Shout
know
out
when
to
to
Dara
shut
Hall.
up.
Dara Hall in the building. What's up, Dara? We see you, babe. Thanks for being here. Yep. She finally made it. Yeah. And so also, you know, I want to welcome again. She is Gloria Johnson. She is running for U.S. Senate in Tennessee. Let's give it up for Gloria Johnson in the building. Yeah. We got Gloria Johnson to the capital of Memphis, baby. 38128 Raleigh. Welcome to the capital.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So look, let's jump into this too. You know, so of course, you know, many people know Gloria Johnson from being one of the 3 members of Tennessee 3. You know, those members were 2 of the members were kicked out of the Tennessee legislature, and she was not. And we're going to come to that, but let's run that video.
We're creating a circus And the eyes of the entire world right now are on this chamber. But we're off the top. From the very beginning, we are creating a circus. And it's embarrassing. This is embarrassing. The world is watching us. And they know that what just happened was unfair. They know that this didn't happen when Jeremy Durham was being expelled. He was given a shot to defend himself. But we are biasing all of the members in here with the way we're handling this and the way we are conducting ourselves. Let's be the leaders of our state. Let's lead, and let's lead with fairness. We as members here, all of the members, none of us deserve to be embarrassed worldwide. We are being embarrassed. So let's do this the right way.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So, that was honestly an historic moment, in the Tennessee legislature. And Gloria, take us from the beginning, from that day. Let's start,
Sure.
or wherever you want to start at on that. Okay.
Yeah, it started a few days before. We noticed that we were not, since the families started coming, they started showing up at the Capitol by the thousands. We had students, we had parents, we had grandparents. There were folks that care deeply about the Covenant community, but expanded to families from Memphis came, and families from Knoxville came, and people across the state came to stand in community with those Covenant families and wanted our legislature to talk about gun violence, to do something.
But go back to Covenant. So everybody, let's take it from there. Covenant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shooting happened. I happened to be sitting in Government Operations Committee and got a text that it was happening while I was in Government Operations.
And we're talking about Covenant school shooting in Nashville.
School shooting where 3 students and 3 staff members lost their lives. And, it's also important to note that 2 staff members did have a gun. They were 2 staff members were armed. Nobody talks about that much. So don't pretend as if there wasn't some type of security there. There was. And so, after those traumatic and tragic deaths, because I think, to my knowledge, this is the first time it happened in a private Christian school. I think that what people need to understand about gun violence, and certainly with the former president being shot at recently, it affects everyone. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are, or how poor you are, or how powerful you are, or how little power you have. None of us are immune from gun violence.
Exactly.
And so it strikes a chord with everyone, and that's why so many people showed up. And that morning I had gotten there early because I wanted to talk to the families. I wanted to hear from them before we went on the floor at 9. And so I got there, and I cannot tell you how many moms came up to me and said, "I dropped my kids off at school before I came. I hope they're safe when I pick them up. I hope when I go get them, they're there. When I meet them at the bus, or when I go to pick them up, I hope that they are safe." And they're with tears in their eyes, most of them. And this is how these folks were feeling, and that's why they were showing up by the thousands at the Capitol. And we kept getting our mics cut or not getting called on when we wanted to talk about it. And in the morning, we typically have welcoming and honoring. They let one person who was from that district do welcoming and honoring, and that's great. But they wouldn't call. They got rid of the rest of it, where normally they call on any member who raises their hand. And they did not call on the members that morning. And we wanted to acknowledge the folks who were there, because all we wanted to do was say, we hear you, we see you, we care about what's happening, and we want to work on doing something. And we were not allowed. They did not have the regular welcoming and honoring that morning. Then we thought, well, we'll try to talk about it when we're talking about a bill, save a minute or two to do that. And the folks who got called on, they got their mics cut. For me, they never called on me. And there was a bill, a real important bill for education that I wanted to speak on. I stood and raised my hand the entire time. They refused to call on me. And it was at that point, we had talked about we need to do something. We need to address the crowd. What can we do? And we just talked about between bills, walking to the well and trying to say what we wanted to say, because that's the only way it was going to happen. And, you know, between the three of us, we represent 210,000 people. And the 70,000 people that I represent wanted me to talk about gun violence. And that is the same with Rep. Jones and Rep. Pearson. And so it wasn't about us. It was about lifting the voices of the people we represent. And we have a First Amendment right to do that.
Not just
And
that,
that-
but you're sent there to do that.
Yeah, we're
you're,
sent
you're
there to
elected
do that. But I mean, that's why there's a lawsuit right now, because it really did remove our First Amendment rights, in addition to those of the 70,000 people that we represent. And so we decided to go to the well after that bill. We went to the well.
Explain the well, so you know, because a lot of
That's
these
where
folks-
you
right,
go
yeah.
up front to run a bill or to speak on something.
Yeah, the podium up there.
That's
Yeah.
it's the podium up at the center. It's probably 20 feet from my desk because I'm right on the front row. My two colleagues were standing at my desk, and we just decided, let's just go. And so we walked the 20 feet to the well and started speaking on behalf of the folks that were there and that had gathered there, the thousands who were at the Capitol. And within, I think, like 12 seconds, they cut the mic and they called for a recess. So we had a little miniature bullhorn, because in that giant room, when you don't have amplification, nobody's going to hear you. And so we had that mini bullhorn and used that to speak to the folks who were there and let them know that we cared about why they were there. We heard them, we saw them, and we were going to do everything we can to do something and take action against gun violence. And the total time we were up there might have been around 6 minutes. And then we walked off. And for that, I thought what we had done was broken a rule about speaking without being called on, but then I found out that's not even a rule that we have. And so I'm not really sure what the rule was that we broke. I don't think we broke a rule. We might have broke decorum, but we didn't even break a rule. And so that night we went out to eat, came back, and we found that I could not get to my scooter. I could not get to my car because they had locked us out of the building and out of the garage.
Some petty people that work there.
Yeah, they're very petty, childish, retaliatory. And so then we thought, okay, that's our punishment. You know, we can't get in the building. And then the next workday, which was Monday, it was about 30 minutes before my committee, government operations, and I start to head down there, but then I get a letter saying that we've been stripped of all our committees. It's like, okay, I guess that's the punishment. Well, then that Monday night we have floor session. Walking to the floor, and somebody gets a hold of me and says, Gloria, I think they're bringing resolutions to expel you all.
Can we stop there?
And-
How did you feel? Right there in that moment, how did you feel in that moment when that happened?
I was like, you know, just how can they do that? I was speaking for my constituents. They wouldn't let me speak. And so, you know, sometimes you have to get in necessary trouble. You have to get in good trouble.
Yeah.
And I was not going to not speak for the people who sent me there. That's why they sent me there. And so I knew there might be some consequences, like maybe committees or something like that. Never in my life did I think of expulsion, which in former Tennessee history has always been when you've broken an actual law. You literally have broken the law. And so I was shocked that they were going to try to expel us. And so we, you know, they thought that there was no investigation. No one looked into it. Nobody asked us anything. They just said these things were going to happen. And didn't really inform us a lot of the process, because I don't think they knew, they didn't really have a process. And so it was just so outrageous and retaliatory. And the thing was, like, people will say now, oh, you did it for attention, or you did. There was no attention. When we went to the well, that might have been a one night story, a 24-hour story in Nashville. And that would have been it. The story, where we got the attention, was when the Republicans wanted to expel us for doing our job.
Right.
The attention didn't come because of us going to the well. It became because the Republicans just lost it. Because when they don't have control, they do not know what to do.
Mm.
And that is why they don't let us speak so much of the time, is they want to control. So what we saw at that time were Republicans. They totally lost the message. They were so discombobulated. It was, it was a horrible time for me because I think I'm going to lose my job. The night before the hearings, I'm in my office and I get a visit from the ethics lawyer and the head of HR because my two colleagues are, they weren't even 30 years old yet. They were younger. I'm 62 years old, and I've told you a little bit about health issues that I have. The ethics lawyer and the head of human resources came to my office and said to me, Gloria, if you resign right now, you can keep your health insurance.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
But if you're expelled, you will lose your health insurance.
Wow.
I never knew that.
Wow.
I never knew
I
that.
tweeted it as soon as they did it. The ethics lawyer
Right.
and the head of
That's against
HR,
it.
and they threatened me by saying, well, if you resign right now, you can keep your insurance.
Let me
But
ask
if you get expelled, you will lose your insurance. And I knew I would lose my insurance, but there's a whole lot of Tennesseans who don't have insurance because of the Republicans. And I was not going to make that decision. You guys take my insurance if that's what you need to do.
Wow.
But this is all dead wrong.
Did you get any other threats, like, death threats or phone calls?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a group that they were in Nashville, the Tennessee Active Council, something like that. I don't know. They actually put together a video targeting me and Rep Jones and a couple of other people. Really scary stuff. But one thing that taught me from my childhood and from that incident in Jackson is that I will never bend down to bullies.
Yeah.
Never. I will get in a bully. Bullies are nothing but cowards.
Right.
Yes.
And this is what they are. They are bullies, and they will not make me afraid. After the former president was shot at, I had a news person call me and say, well, are you going to change your events now? Are you going to do them online? Or are you going to, I was like, no, my events are on my webpage. I went to all 95 counties. It was public where I was going. I wanted people to come, and I will not change what I do. And I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to let these people scare me because bullies are cowards, and I will not let them win.
Man,
What about your colleagues? Let me ask you, what about your colleagues? How many stood up for you? Did any of them throw
that's
you
a
under
really
the
good
bus or something like that? They stand up for you?
Well,
Did they hide?
hey, you're on Antonio Parkinson
They
Project. Get the uncut version.
that
Like
heat.
Kojak, because this is going to clip. Ask that question again.
Did any of your colleagues throw you on the bus or hide and be like, man, she's in trouble now, let me bag up? Or did they come through for you?
no, they stood up for us.
Okay.
Yeah, they stood up for us. If you see the hearing, I'm not sure who all spoke, but a lot of people stood up, and a lot of our colleagues stood up and spoke for us. I'll be honest, there were some that wanted us to apologize, and that wasn't going to happen. As a matter of fact, after we left the floor and we went into the clerk's office, the three of us to talk, and Rep Camper was there for a minute. And but when she left, I said to them, I said, y'all, we are not apologizing. We are not. Let's just make a pact right here. Because I was not going to apologize. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was the right thing to do. And I will never apologize for doing what's right.
Come on now, that's what I'm talking
Yes,
about. Hey, look,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, don't go anywhere because when we come back,
Humility.
we're going to talk about this U.S. Senate race and who she's running against. And so hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Yes. Excellent people.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis
Believe
market.
that.
Let's give it up one more
Believe
time for
that.
that, man. One more.
Yeah, you got to change it
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, and obviously my lovely co-host is really enjoying this show. Y'all give it up for
up back here, y'all.
Yeah, give it up for Angelica Jelly Woods in the building.
Miss
Yes,
Gloria has me
indeed.
turned up. Y'all better go vote. I was telling her
Yeah.
in the back, she has receipts for everything that she's advocating for. Okay,
She absolutely does.
receipts. Listen to the show. Receipts for everything. That's why I'm hyped.
Yeah.
So hey,
Yeah, and give it up for my DJ. That's my DJ, DJ
Yeah.
Kojak in the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, DJ
Believe
Kojak,
that.
go and scratch it up 4 times for this U.S. Senate win.
Look.
Man,
he got his good white church shirt on.
Oh,
doing her thing up
yeah. Yeah, and y'all give it up for Gloria Johnson,
Come
state
on.
representative now, but U.S. Senator later.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it up for her.
Speaking of
Yeah.
on
So Gloria, you know, man, it seems like these segments go by so fast because this conversation is so interesting. Now I served with her, and some of the stuff I didn't even know was going on in the background. Real talk. Yeah. But look, let's talk about this U.S. Senate race, man. This race is so almost cursed. This race is so important to the state of Tennessee. So it's Gloria Johnson versus Marsha Blackburn. So tell us about your race for Senate and walk us through, you know, what led to the decision to actually run for U.S. Senate.
Right. And I started back in the beginning of 2023. Some folks were talking to me, asking me about running for U.S. Senate. And, you know, we weren't sure there was a path to victory. We're talking about it, though, because the idea was we needed somebody at the top of the ticket in Tennessee to run hard on democratic values, on making sure people have a living wage, making sure people have access to affordable health care and affordable prescription drugs, and a great public school education, access to child care. We have child care deserts in Tennessee now, and things like paid family leave, which lifts families up. And so we thinking if we have somebody at the top of the ticket in Tennessee talking about those things, it's going to help us flip state house and state senate seats, because that's what we've got to do. You know, we are seeing democracy erode in Tennessee faster than at the federal level. And so we've got to flip some seat, because we have some Republicans who are drunk on power and are running roughshod over regular Tennessee families. And so that's when it first started talking about it, but didn't really know if there was a path to victory. And so later, as we progress through session, more and more people are asking me. Then the Tennessee 3 thing happened, and you know, we do have some national notoriety or whatever. And I just kept talking to people that I respected and about running. And one of the people I talked to was Stacey Abrams. And when I talked to her, she thought it was a good idea. She also said to me, it is important that you go everywhere and that you go to the places they don't expect you to go to. And so that is when, after I made the decision, I decided I was definitely going to go to all 95 counties. I think nobody has done that in a while, or not really done that. They'll say, my opponent, Marsha Blackburn, will say she's going to all 95 counties, but it's mostly closed door meetings with county officials or a chamber of commerce, but it's always closed doors, and it's not open to the public. My tour stops of the 95 counties were listed on my website. And we call it a diners and dives tour because we wanted to go where people felt comfortable. Like we didn't want it just to be Democrats. We didn't want to have it at the Democratic Party headquarters because we wanted everybody, independents, Republicans, and Democrats, to be able to come and feel comfortable. So we just did local restaurants where people come anyway, you know, in that town. And so that's what we did. And people were so grateful.
I was just
that
going to
we
ask
showed
that,
up.
you know, how the
They would
response
tell
was.
us. The response was like, "Thank you so much for coming here."
Uh-huh.
No one
Republicans and
ever
Democrats,
comes-
though?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then people would walk in, like I was in a rural county around the Cumberland Plateau area. An older couple, not older, but probably in their 60s, came in and said, you know, we're lifelong Republicans. We've never voted Democratic, but we are voting for you in this election.
Wow.
And so when people say that, I always ask why. And they said, as a matter of fact, I've never donated to any candidate, but we've donated already to you twice.
That's awesome.
And they said it's because they were evangelical Christians.
Wow.
And they didn't feel their party was following their faith,
Oh.
which I thought was really interesting.
Look at Parkinson's
Yeah.
face. You took him off guard with that one. He like,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, and they had already donated to our campaign twice, and it was so wonderful to talk to them and to talk to people from the other side of the aisle that showed up. One woman in Jefferson County, she was so grateful when she came in. I'm just so excited to meet you. She said, me and my husband are lifelong Republicans. He's even more conservative than I am. And I said, well, what, brought you to our campaign? And she said that I have watched we sat on the couch and watched all 3 hearings from start to finish. We watched all 3 hearings. We didn't turn it off. We sat there and watched the entire thing. And she said, when it was over, my husband turned to me and said, I'll never vote for a Tennessee Republican again.
My goodness. Wow.
That is amazing.
And even though, and she talked to me, she said, I disagree with you on the abortion issue, but there's no way we're going to vote for a Tennessee Republican after we saw the racism and the misogyny. And so it just really warms my heart that people are putting country and human rights before party, because I think it's so important. And at the kickoff for my race, we had 50 Republicans there at the kickoff, mainly because of gun violence and because of Dobbs. And that's why we are getting Republicans and independents to our campaign. So I think that people are really going to be surprised. A lot of times they will say, oh, a Democrat can't win in Tennessee. And this is not the race that Marsha Blackburn won in 2018. Demographics have changed since 2018 in Tennessee. They've gotten better for Democrats. I'm not saying it's huge, but Marsha Blackburn won by around 200, a little over 200,000 votes. And here's what we know in Tennessee. There are 300,000 Democratic voters who haven't voted the last few cycles because they feel hopeless, because they feel like we vote and nothing changes for us. And so what we are doing is getting out, knocking doors, making phone calls. We're getting in touch with all of those folks and letting them know what's at stake this election and how it will definitely affect them, and getting those people to the polls. Because if we get those folks to the polls, we win this U.S. Senate race. Not only do we win this U.S. Senate race, we flip down ballot state House and state Senate seats, which we so desperately need to do.
Yes.
That's why voting up and down the ballot is so important. And I am so thrilled that Vice President Harris is running for president. Because what I have to tell Tennesseans about her is that day of the expulsion, after we were expelled, that evening, we got a call that she was clearing her entire schedule to come to Tennessee.
I remember that. Yep.
That speaks
It's
volumes.
not easy to clear a vice presidential schedule for the next day.
Right.
She cleared her entire schedule, came to Fisk University, met with Rep. Pearson, Rep. Jones, and myself, and also the Covenant families and all of that. So the fact that she dropped everything to come to Tennessee shows how much she cares about us, about doing something about gun violence, and about fairness and rights and all of those things. So I think it's just a testament to who she is that she came to Tennessee. And then as an educator, I have to say, choosing Tim Walz, I don't ever get my VP pick. I don't think anybody I wanted ever got chosen in the past. But this is like, oh my gosh, I got my pick.
Oh, was it he your pick?
Oh, he was my pick because he's a former educator.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
That's right.
And so it's so critical in this time where they're trying to put vouchers everywhere. And we know it's a national plan that we get somebody who understands that public education is the bedrock of democracy, and it's what lifts all of us and gives us all the ability to succeed.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited about that top of the ticket, but people need to understand that what happens locally is so critical, and so you've got to vote Democratic all the way down the ballot.
Okay, speaking of that, Marsha, you brought up speaking of Marsha Blackburn voting, what would you, if you were in the elevator riding up, all right, and you just had, I said elevator speech, you should know, that, and you had to say the difference between Marsha and Gloria, and why you? Because some people may not even heard or may not know anything, but why you? Why vote for you over her? What would you say?
Right. Well, I think that laying out the contrast is really important. So what I would say is Marsha Blackburn voted against the Violence Against Women Act. She voted against equal pay for equal work. She voted against IVF and contraception access for everyone. She voted against the child tax credit, the enhanced child tax credit that cut poverty almost in half for children.
That's big.
She
for
voted
Memphis.
against capping insulin at $35 in a state with one of the highest incidences of diabetics. She voted against negotiating drug prices for seniors. She voted against the PACT Act to protect veterans. She has voted against the military just exploring the use of cannabis for military folks who need
PTSD.
it. She voted against that. She doesn't vote for Tennesseans. All those things that I just named, I would support those things.
Wow.
She voted dozens of times against the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. And that means she wants to go back to a time where pre-existing conditions can keep you from getting insurance. And one of those things is being a woman is a pre-existing condition. You used to, you know, regular insurance didn't cover pregnancy. You had to get an expensive rider to cover that in most situations. So she wants to take us backwards. She makes the most racist, xenophobic, bigoted comments on social lies and doesn't use any facts. She is misinforming Tennesseans, and it's shameful. But you know what she just voted against?
I was going to bring it up. I'll let you say it.
She voted against funding for FEMA 2 days before the hurricane.
We talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that
2
last
days
week.
before the hurricane, she voted no on those dollars.
Right. And Tennesseans are suffering. If you have not seen, you know, some of the suffering that's taking place with Tennesseans, you know,
It's horrible. They are devastated up there. And she voted 2 days before against that funding and made it seem as if President Biden was late to Tennessee with the funding. He was late because Bill Lee didn't ask for assistance until 2 days after all the other governors. They asked on Wednesday before. Governor Lee should have asked on Wednesday before it happened. Instead, he asked for a day of prayer and fasting. He didn't ask for assistance until there were folks standing on top of a hospital being rescued in Unicoi County.
Can I say something, though?
But let me just real quick just respond to that about the governor, because he did go on video, and you know, I'm not his cheerleader or anything, but he did go on video and say and dispel all of those rumors that they were trying to put out, saying that President Biden and the money and the resources were not coming in, because once he asked for it, it started coming in. But you know, and that was, you know, but you know,
yeah. But what I was talking about was all these other folks like Jeremy Faison and Marsha Blackburn, who were blaming it on the president for being late to the party.
Yeah,
he was not late to the party.
And saying that FEMA gave all the money to immigrants and all of this crap, and you know, but
those are all lies, and she is putting those lies out there. And you know what? Tennesseans deserve better.
Yes.
Tennessee families, hardworking Tennessee families, deserve someone that's working for them, not lobbyists and corporations. She's like, I think, number 2 in taking big pharma dollars. She's taken almost $2 million from big pharma.
Which means what, though, to the layman?
That's what. So what it means is she voted against negotiating drug prices for seniors. She voted against capping insulin. She wants to keep prescription costs high because she works for the pharmaceutical companies. The same way she's voted against every gun sense bill that's come across her desk, because she's also one of the top receivers of NRA dollars.
But I want to go back to the situation with the hurricane. You know how you see those memes where it says, if you're looking for a sign, here's the sign? They're the sign. Whoever listening, it's 2 days before, and she votes, and that happens. If y'all don't need a sign not to support her, that's the sign right there. If you don't do that, it's a smack in your face. I might send you a virtual smack. There's a sign right there in your face. I mean, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just think about what I think about so often is women and girls. The state of women and girls in Tennessee, with their presidential candidate is an adjudicated rapist with 34 convicted felony counts.
Jesus.
Their vice president believes that women should stay with their abuser. Said it on camera. Believes in a federal abortion ban and believes that women who don't have children shouldn't have a say in society. All of these things on tape. He says that women without children are the most insane people out there. And then, so to round out this trifecta, that's the president, the vice president, and then we've got a U.S. senator who voted against the Violence Against Women Act, who voted against access to contraception, voted against IVF, and wants a federal abortion ban. Imagine the state of women and girls' safety and health under those folks. It is terrifying and barbaric, as you said, to think women will be expected to live this way in a state where you're going to force a 10-year-old to carry a pregnancy. We're talking about giving more rights to a violent rapist. They have the right to choose the mother of their child.
Right.
But a woman can't choose not to have her rapist baby, and a child can't choose not to have her rapist baby in a state where 43 counties have no OBGYN. 43 counties with no OBGYN.
What in the world?
More than a third of the state.
That's almost half the counties.
crazy.
More than a third of the states
95.
have no delivery room. So we're talking about being an hour, forcing someone to carry pregnancy. A child is 2 times more likely to die in a pregnancy than an adult. We have one of the highest maternal mortality rates, 3 times that number for Black women. And so we are forcing people to carry pregnancies. We are asking them to put their life at risk. And we don't have the care. They could be an hour to an hour and a half away from the care they need. And since Dobbs, we have great medical schools in Tennessee. We had docs that came here to do their residency in OBGYN. Since the Dobbs decision, we have a 21% drop in residents for OBGYN.
Explain the
that's
Dobbs
because-
decision to the layman. So they
Okay,
understand.
yes,
Yeah.
they took away our right to have an abortion, to have abortion care.
Okay.
So since they made that decision, and we have a trigger ban in Tennessee, and women can't get abortions in Tennessee, basically, what happens then is we have a 21% drop in people coming here to do their residency to be an OBGYN. And what we know about residents is more than 50% of them typically stay in the state where they do their residency. They meet folks, they get asked into a practice. So imagine how few in a couple of years, we probably will have more than 50% of the counties in Tennessee that don't have OBGYNs because they won't come here. They can't get the certification they need from doing a residency in Tennessee. They have to split between 2 states because they have to learn how to perform all the care, which means DNCs and abortion care and all of that. And if they can't get that here, they have to double up with 2 states. Now, imagine you're going to do your residency. Are you going to choose the place where you have to move and do 2 states? Or are you going to go where you can get it all done in one state?
Right, exactly.
So they're putting women and girls at great risk to their lives.
Yes.
So look, we have to wrap the segment up, but look, so make your last pitch to these voters. You know, early voting is right on us. Tell them why, there's an urgency that they should, vote for Gloria Johnson.
There is an urgency. Lives are at stake here. You've heard us talk about it. People are vulnerable. Black communities, brown communities, LGBTQ community, women, seniors, the disabled are all at risk under these guidelines. You've seen what Project 2025 does. It basically defunds public education. 180,000 teachers across this country will be immediately lost. There is so much at stake here, and this election is critical because Democrats believe that everyone who works a hard 40-hour work week should make enough money not just to survive, but to thrive and be able to go on a vacation once a year with their family, educate their kids, and retire in dignity. And that's starting to happen in Tennessee. We got the Blue Oval City. Volkswagen decided to unionize. When Tennesseans see what those good union jobs look like and what should be happening for families, everybody's going to want that. And I cannot wait because everybody deserves that. And then, access to affordable health care and affordable prescriptions is critical. If Tennessee's not healthy, we're not going to be strong. We're not going to have the workforce at full speed. And educating every single child, every kid, no matter their zip code, should have a well-resourced classroom instead of defunded public education, which is what is happening right now. And we need to have access to childcare. You can't make $7.25 an hour and pay $15 an hour for childcare. That math does not work.
$3.50 a
I don't
week.
think Republicans math well.
The math ain't math.
It really isn't. So access to childcare, paid family leave, developed nations have this. What are we doing?
Right. Look, let me say this, and I've done it. I've said it before, but I want to go on the record, so I'm going to look into this camera and say, "Hey, my name is State Representative Antonio Parkinson. I fully endorse Gloria Johnson for U.S. Senate." And so I'm asking everyone to go out there and vote. Make sure you go early. Early voting starts October 16th, ends on the 31st. And if you don't make it to early voting, make sure that you go out and vote on November 5th for Gloria Johnson for U.S. Senate and vote the entire ballot Democrat. All right, y'all. So look,
Women better go to vote. I'm gonna see y'all